today I'm going to be demoing MacSpeech Dictate, which is an app for Mac users that allows you to dictate to your computer, and your computer will turn your words into text. So for a dyslexic and someone who's having trouble with their writing, this is certainly a good way of getting your thoughts onto paper. It's certainly not going to improve your spelling, but it will allow you to be able to work with softwares like Word more proficiently, and probably in the privacy of your own home. This isn't something you're going to use in the office, I don't think, but it is certainly something that you can use at home as long as you have an understanding partner who doesn't mind you talking to your computer all day. But I find it to be very helpful in all kinds of circumstances. So I'm going to give you a quick demo of just how it works. The program costs $200, which I think for the money is really very fair. It is definitely a reasonable price for a software of this kind of caliber, and hopefully in the future it will continue to get better and better. What happens is, after you've bought the software, you then go through a process of speech recognition where you talk to the program, and the program listens to your voice and the tone of your voice and learns to understand the rhythm at which you talk. And at that point you can then use it with other applications like Word, like within a Google search engine, or within sticky notes, or whatever it is you're using that requires text. It's interesting, and I think worth demoing, certainly, so you get an idea of what it looks like. After you've logged in, you get a little box here that has a red stop sign in it, and that is essentially indicating that right now the program isn't operating, because as soon as you turn it on, it's going to try and turn everything you say into text. So as soon as you turn it on, it's going to start doing that. Now I'm going to read from Scottish Mountain Climbs by Donald Bennett. Bennett's probably how you pronounce his name. And I picked this book up the other day in a second-hand bookstore, and this is going to be the first time I've read it, so you're going to get a taste of what my reading is like as well, which will be kind of interesting. So we turn the program on. It is in winter that Scottish mountains really come into their own and assume their full stature, comma. Scratch that. Scratch that. Scratch that. It is in winter. Scratch that. It is in winter that Scottish mountains really come into their own and assume their full stature. Scratch that. That Scottish mountains really come into their own and assume their full stature. Scratch that. Come into their own and assume their full stature. Full stop. Seemingly transformed by a covering of snow into giants twice their normal size. Full stop. Climbs that in summer suppose no great difficulty. Scratch that. Scratch that. Climbs. Scratch that. Climbs. Scratch that. Climbs that in summer suppose no great difficulty can in winter become serious undertakings of alpine character, and difficult summer climbs may well become real test pieces. Full stop. In winter, no route is ever exactly the same twice. Scratch that. Scratch that. In winter, no route. Scratch that. In winter, scratch that. No route. Scratch that. No route. Scratch that. Route is ever exactly the same twice. Scratch that. Exactly the same twice. Full stop. So, there you go. That's pretty close. There's one or two words within there that aren't correct and that the program couldn't recognize. And that demo is probably a little unfair as to the program's capabilities. As you kind of go along, you'll learn how to speak to the computer as well, so it'll recognize the words, because obviously you may pronounce one thing differently. I was pronouncing route, depending on your pronunciation of the word, and obviously the program had problems with that, but in general it's very quick, and if you do make a mistake you can simply go back by saying scratch that or remove, and it will look over the material again and you can retry it. It's not going to solve any problems in terms of your spelling ability, but it will allow you to get thoughts down in text, and it will help with your overall speed at which you can compose mail, I suppose. It's definitely not going to help with punctuation or the forming of sentences and paragraphs. It is going to allow you to feel more comfortable using applications like Word, and allowing you to talk and verbalize the things you have in your head and get them down on paper. So it's an interesting program. It's worth the $200 and you will use it. It's not going to really solve the bigger problems, the bigger picture issues, but it's a neat little thing to use and to play around with, and with a little bit of trial and error you're going to find that it becomes a useful tool within your arsenal when dealing with spelling related issues.